Hello again, my name is Alex Lavrov, and in this video we will cover downloading, installing and configuring IBM Change Data Capture for Kafka. In two previous videos we installed the confluent platform with Kafka server, Zookeeper and schema registry, and then we also installed Kafka cat utils that we'll use to consume messages from topics. So let's get started. Before we'll download the software, we'll need to create a user because IBM Change Data Capture cannot be installed under root and cannot run as root. So we'll create a user CDC and create directories where IBM CDC will be installed. So let's do it. User add CDC, then we'll create directory where software will be installed. Usually it's opt IBM CDC. Okay, and now let's switch to CDC user, go to TNP directory because we'll download the installation media there, and from there we'll run the installer. Now we are going to download the software. The software will be downloaded from IBM Fix Central because in Passport Advantage we usually have only the base version, and I always recommend to download the latest patched version. So let's go to IBM Fix Central, IBM Fix Central. It will be the first hit. Let's go here. In the search, in the product selector, we'll put data replication. We'll select that. We'll select the latest version, 11.403, and Linux as a platform. Let's continue. Let's browse all the fixes. In IBM Fix Central, we'll find only the latest fixes for all products. We need the agents themselves. Access server is usually already installed as long as management console, so we'll use only the Linux agent. Let's click continue. Usually at this stage probably it will ask you to log into your user, so you can do it either with your internal IBM account or customer's user that is also used for Passport Advantage. This user will be able to see pages for CDC as well. We'll do HTTPS download because I want to download it directly to the Linux server. Now we'll take the URL of the download. Okay, copy link address. Please note that these are temporary links. They will expire after a couple of days, even less. So there is no sense of keeping them or sharing them because after a while they stop working. Now let's go back to the server and download it. The download started, and we'll be back once download complete. Okay, download is almost complete. Here it is. Let's see what we downloaded. Okay, as you can see, we have the executable right here. We'll need to change permissions so it will be runnable. And now we are ready to install. So now we're going to run our installer and install CDC binaries. Okay, let's execute the installer. It's extracting it from the archive, extracting the JRE and launching the installer. We'll choose English. Since it's Linux, of course, installation will be in the console mode. We will gonna install a new product. There is nothing to upgrade. We'll use Kafka, so number 2, and we'll select the offering. Of course, the customer needs to select the offering according to the license they purchased. We'll just use the default one. The installation folder we'll use will be opt IBM CDC, the one that we created before. Yes, this is the correct folder. We accept the license, and the instances that we'll create will be also located in this directory. So this is the summary of the installation. Let's run the installation. It will take several seconds to install. Okay, it's finished. And now it asks us if we want to run the configuration tool or not. We will not run it because we want to go to the directory and see exactly what we're going to launch to configure an instance. So we'll choose no. We are getting back to the command line. And now we are going to the directory where it was installed. Okay, it's here. We're going to the bin directory. Here we have different executables. And in order to configure the instance, we will run dm configure ts. To create the instance, we'll run the command dm configure ts. Since there are no instances created, it will take us directly to the wizard of creation, the first instance. We'll need to name our instance. It can be any string, anything that will distinguish this instance from others. It can contain name of the target Kafka cluster, can contain the name of the source database, anything that will be explanatory to the user which instance is it. We'll just, for the sake of the demo, we'll call it Kafka1. So Kafka1. We'll accept the default port. We'll accept the default memory, but of course in production I would not run it less than 16 gigabytes. And of course proper sizing will be needed here, but just for this simple demo setup we'll use 8 gigabytes. The next step is to create encryption profile. Encryption profiles are used to encrypt the traffic between the source and the target instances. Since I didn't create one for the source instance, I will not create it for the target instance as well. Maybe we'll cover it in the following videos. But right now we'll create a dummy instance, dummy profile for the instance that will not be encrypted. Okay, so we'll manage encryption profiles, add encryption profile. The name will be dummy. We'll choose 2, so encryption is disabled, and just accept defaults for everything. And once it's finished, let's go for and complete the management and choose the dummy profile is the profile that will be used for this instance. We'll use TCP/IP. The password for the user to connect to our instance, which the built-in user TS user. It can be anything again. I will just choose TS user to make it easier on us during the demo. And now the new instance is being created. As you can see, during the instance creation, we didn't use any details of Kafka server because these will be used on subscription level. Right now, it's just the service of CDC that is running, listening to the port, and we'll be able to connect through the management console and configure the application. We don't want to start it. This is the menu that you will get when you run dm configure ts from now on, because we have at least one running instance, created instance. Let's see it. Okay, as you can see, this is the name of the instance, the port, and the status, which is stopped. Let's exit, and next step will be running the instance. Before running the instance, let's see what was created after we completed the instance creation. So it will go back to the home directory of the installation. We'll see different directories. One of the important directories is instance, this directory. So we'll go inside. Here we have all the instances that we created. Of course, we have one instance called Kafka1. Let's go inside as well. And here we'll see different directories as well. One of the most important one is, of course, the log directory, which will contain different logs when the instance is running. So all the problems, if we'll have any, during our experiments, like Java exceptions and so on, will go to this directory. So let's see. Right now we have only a couple of logs that were created during the instance creation, so they're not very interesting right now. Let's go back to the home directory of the installation and run the instance. To run the instance, we'll need to execute the command tmts64. It will run it right now. It will complain that the parameter is missing, mandatory parameter, which is the name of the instance. So to run the command, also we'll run it in the background because it will be a service. We'll run it with nohub dmts64 -i and the name of the instance, which is Kafka1. Remember, this is case sensitive, so if we'll type Kafka1 in lowercase, it will not find it. And after that, we'll run with the ampersand. Let's see, everything going to nohub out, and it will listen. If you remember, the default port was 11701. Let's see, lsof -i 11.1. Okay, as you can see, DMTS64 Java is listening on 11.701. And now we are ready to connect to this instance from our management console, create data store, and start replicating.